Hey Doodlers, this is Adam Sinski and welcome to day 32 of the 40-day How to Doodle course. Within this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to doodle a variety of different diagrams. Now, diagrams include charts, graphs, and the like, and I've kind of bundled them together just to make it sort of simple. And within this lesson below, you will find links to a variety of different charts you could potentially use that could help you spice up your doodles and the things that your visual notes or the things that you're summarizing. Because sometimes what happens is you come across, say, numbers, figures, percentages, and it's difficult to sort of get that message across in a visual way, but diagrams can help you to express that quite effectively. So for starters, I guess my main area of strength and area where I sort of started off with is with mind maps. And mind maps are fantastic tools that can help you to kind of show the interconnection of different sort of ideas extending from a central sort of topic. So that's what mind maps are great for. If you're using, for instance, if you come across different sort of numbers about a certain topic area, you might, for instance, want to create like a block type of diagram that sort of explains what the comparison or shows the comparison of these numbers sort of next to each other. So you would have the x and y axis, and therefore you could number it here and list the categories down here. You could use a pie chart to represent percentages. So for instance, show that something's a bigger percentage than another thing, and that can help you to express your ideas in a number of ways. You can, of course, you can go 3D as well to represent these things. So you can have here, dropping down, there. But sometimes what happens is with these 3D graphs, it's more difficult to actually see exactly what's going on. So if the numbers are important for you to specifically showcase what the percentage is, difference between different types of things, then I would suggest to use just a standard sort of pie chart. You could also show flowcharts. Like, I love flowcharts. So you could have a start here. So flowcharts are great for showing a process. So you could go next, okay, moves to here, then the process sort of moves there, okay. But if we do something else, then the process can move to here and then eventually move back to there. But if something goes wrong, we have to come back to this spot here. So as you can see, I mean, it's a fantastic flexible tool that you can use. And then there are, of course, maps, for instance. So you could doodle sort of like a page that kind of looks like a map, and X marks the spot, right? X marks the spot, color that in, X marks the spot, and you can kind of doodle different pictures on a map to show maybe a location or something, and that kind of spices up your doodle. So there are a lot of different ideas for charts, and I've only touched the main ones that I would typically use within my doodles, but there are a lot more. In fact, if you scroll down this page, I've included examples of bar charts, pie charts, organizational charts, or links to them at least, line graphs, pictographs, bubble charts, Venn diagrams, concept maps, radio charts, flow charts, mind maps, pyramid charts. They're typical kind of charts that you might have a use for when you're doodling things and you want to represent your ideas in a diagram type of format. And I guess one thing that I do really like are Venn diagrams. So Venn diagrams sort of, you have three different things on the outside. So this circle here represents one thing, this circle here represents something else, and that third circle represents a third thing. And these inner circles show how these things are related. So these two circles are related here, they're related here, and they're related here. But then again, all the topics of all three circles, they kind of intersect in this center spot. So for instance, from a life coaching perspective, let's take a look at a Venn diagram we can potentially draw. So if we look at the three sort of sides, three sort of circles, or ovals, if you want to call them that way, we could, for instance, mark each of them in a slightly different way. So our first circle could be things that you are good at doing. So these are your strengths. Here, you could look at things you enjoy doing. So these are your pastimes, the kind of pleasurable activities that you normally partake in, and things that others would pay you to do, for instance, pay you to do. Because not all hobbies, for instance, are things that others would pay for, right? So you would list your strengths here. So you would list all your strengths here, and you would obviously make this a big page. The bigger the page, the better. You would list all the things that people that you know of that you could do, that people would pay you money to do, and you could earn a living off that. And then you would list all the things that you enjoy doing within this section. Now, within this section here, where your strengths and the things you enjoy doing converge, that is something else. You would create more lists here of things that are enjoyable and yet you find them your strengths. Within this section here, you look at your strengths and things that people would pay you to do. So you would list them here. And within this third area here, you would look at enjoyable hobbies that others could pay you to do. And I guess the sweet spot is this area here. So you would take that list, you would sort of break it down, and you look at something that is a strength of yours, that you enjoy doing, that's a hobby, and that others would potentially pay you for. So you would list it down here. So I guess that's just a quick sort of summary of how you could potentially represent a Venn diagram to show a variety of different things, and from a life coaching context. And I guess, look, that's it for this lesson. I hope that you find this of value, and you practicing as much as possible all these different diagrams and incorporate them into your visual notes. It will of course take practice and time, but over time you'll get better and they will just become more natural, and you can start using all these different diagrams for a variety of different purposes. So have a look at what others have submitted below, and I've posted that, and I look forward to seeing your diagrams if you feel comfortable sharing them with me. And as always, I look forward to having you join me on the next lesson. Take care.